Hey guys, wanted to give you a quick overview of your statistics project. This slide is going to be shared with you as a view only, so you're going to want to make a copy of it. And then if you are working with group members, you're going to want to share those with the group members, obviously. And then if you're working by yourself, just make a copy for yourself. All right, so the second slide here is the project requirements. So the first thing is that you will absolutely have to have an approved statistical question. And that statistical question needs to be posted in Padlet. So I believe Mrs. Moy and I are going to be sharing this with you. And that link to Padlet is right here. So if you want to click right there, that blue link right there, it'll take you to the Padlet where you will, I'll just go ahead and show you actually. Where you will put in your name and your group member's name. So if you are working with the group, for example, I just put some teachers down here as an example, and then you would post your statistical question below. If you're just working by yourself, you're going to go to click to add and just say, James McCourtie, and you're working, by yourself. And then go ahead and then write your statistical question. Okay, right there. So what Mrs. Moy and I will do is we will approve your statistical questions as a comment. So we'll either write approved, oops, if I can spell, or if it's a question that is not necessarily statistical, or we don't think that you're going to get a good amount of data, we're going to say something like try again, and we'll offer feedback for you. So read that, talk with your group, go back, and then repost so that we can continue to revise and approve, okay? So make sure that you are always checking back on Padlet until you get that approved by either Mrs. Moy or myself. Okay, so once you have that statistical question, you're going to want to create a Google form. So obviously the Google form is how you're going to collect data. And we know that statistical questions require you to collect data. So you're going to do that by creating a form and then emailing that to at least 20 of your fellow math block 1 students, so either in Mrs. Moy's class or in Mrs. McCourtie's class. And depending on your statistical question, you can also send it to family members. So you're absolutely going to want to have that email, that Google form created and emailed by Friday. And that would be Friday, April 24th. So that needs to be done by Friday, April 24th. So after April 24th, you all need to consistently be checking your email and answering any Google form that comes your way. This is so important because we all need to get these pieces of data. So please don't just ignore someone's email. You need to open that up. It will take you 2 seconds because it's one question. Answer it, submit it, done. If you get multiple, so what? Just answer as many as you can. I know each person will appreciate that greatly. Okay, so once you get your Google form submitted, I would say on Monday, you don't necessarily have to work on this over the weekend. On Monday, go ahead and check with your group members, and you're going to want to open up your Google form. So when you open up your Google form, I want to show you something really kind of cool that will help. So this is just one that was several years back. So once you get responses, you'll be able to see how many people responded. So in this case, it was 33. If you click here and you click this little green square, this automatically generates a Google sheet. So you're going to want to say create a new spreadsheet and create. Now, I'm not sure, how this will necessarily absolutely work, but you're going to want to share this obviously with everyone in your group so they can see the data. But essentially what you're going to get, this obviously isn't what it's going to look like, but you will see the information coming across that your question generated. So everything in here should be a number, right? Because you're going to want to ask a numerical question. So everything in here should be a number, and that, boom, organized, and there for you. So it makes it really, really nice. So again, that was in your Google form, you click responses, and then this generates that spreadsheet. Now, once you get that spreadsheet with all of your data, oops, sorry, wrong one, you're going to want to go ahead and put that here. So that's on slide 4. You're going to insert or clip that in. So just, either take a screenshot of it and put it in there so Mrs. Moy and I can see your group's data. And then along with that Google form, you can either clip the Google form or provide a link for that Google form right in here so we can see that. All right. Now, I would say that is kind of the meat and potatoes. Once you have those numbers, then you are off and running. After that point, I think it's going to be really important for you and your group members to decide who's doing what and how are you going to break this apart. If you're working by yourself, you're just going to chug away, I would say piece by piece, day by day on each of these. So obviously, all of these points down below here are going to be inside of this inside of these slides. So the measures of center, you're going to calculate obviously the mean, the median, and the mode of your data. To measure how variable, how much your data varies, that's going to be our range. So you're going to show how you did that and of course give us your range. We would like you to create a histogram of your group's data. Please keep in mind that you need labels on your histogram and you need to create appropriate bin sizes. Please make sure you're referring back to some demonstration videos on how to create a histogram if you need help. Next, you have a dot plot. So go ahead and put a picture or clip a picture of your dot plot. And I would highly suggest Google Drawings is a great application for you to use. You also need a box plot. So if you remember, there was a demonstration video on Monday and you practiced on Tuesday of this week creating a box plot. So we absolutely do want to see your 5-number summary. So your lower extreme, your upper extreme, your median, your Q1 and your Q2, so your quartile 1, quartile 2. And of course, labels are appropriate so we can read what your group's data shows. And then this is just an overall summary of your data. So what is your data telling you about your statistical question? This is kind of where you and your group members are going to just talk us through really everything from slide 5, 6, and then your graphs will help you to also interpret where your data lies. So this just gives, what is your data telling you about your statistical questions? Just a very brief summary. Now, one thing that Mrs. Moy and I thought might be kind of cool is for you either individually or with your group to create a Google Meet where we can see your faces actually presenting this. So if this is something that you're interested in, Mrs. Moy and I would be more than happy to talk you through how to do that. Another option would be a Screencastify. So I'm going to actually add that, a screencast of you presenting your work and then inserting that link right in here, because I think that kind of brings the project full circle. So that's it. That's your project. Our timeline for a due date would be next Wednesday, and I believe the date of that is April 29th as a final due date. So this is kind of a longer assignment. Over the course of a week, we would like you to chunk away at this, and we won't be assigning daily assignments, but we will be offering our office hours. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to get on and ask us. All right, so this is obviously going to be in your Google Classroom, along with some more of the outlines that we talked about in our group meeting. If you were not able to attend that, these are all the points that Mrs. Moy and I discussed. So we will also attach this in your Google Classroom. All right, that is all for now. Please reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.